Right, hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm just doing one more thing here so we can go live. Let's see. And just checking one more place here that it might make sense to share this. Let's do. All right, and one more spot. All right, it should be that. And close that. So we got this and this. All right. So we got that out of the way, and I just need one more thing to pop up, and that is the YouTube chat. Just a moment. And let's see if I can find that. There it is. Where is this gonna be? I guess I'll put it, actually, let me also put up Chatterino, because that will help. All right, cool. And all right, I think that's everything. So what I'm looking at is, I'm gonna have to pause at some point and go get water, I'm sure. But what I'm looking at is just going in and seeing if I can tighten a few things up. I have an idea for a way I can make this a bit more better when it comes to overall scaling as we go. I think one thing I'm going to do is work on putting this in a actual base scene, so that I will have a 2D node and a 3D node. And good. I'm glad to hear that, Nuki Nook. Yeah, I think I figured out. I think it was a. I'm peeking there. Let me turn that down just a tiny touch. Okay, I think we're good. Seems whenever I see that sound, it broke the threshold there. But I think what had happened was that my codec was a little weird, and so I did the auto wizard, and I also went and changed the camera so it was no longer bringing in 4K because you're seeing me in mostly a little box. And I also just made sure USB ports weren't on the same thing. So I think between those things, probably the codec thing mostly, honestly, I got that together. So let's do, I guess we'll do a new scene and we'll go on and make this main scene. The top node, let me, I have to pull up a tweet because I remember them talking about it. Let's see. Right here. Oh, there it is. It was. There it is. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have a node as our base. And then we're eventually going to have a node. I'll go 2D first because it probably just makes a bit more sense to do 2 before 3. And then a node 3D. And then we'll also do a GUI, which is going to be control. Okay. There we go. Yep. And let's see what this is. Okay. Cool. All right. And I got to figure out some way to more easily keep up with YouTube chat. I think I should be okay this way, but we'll see. It's just, I don't have enough. I have 3 screens, but with the way everything's laid out, I just don't have a great room. Eventually, though, let's go in and change this to be something like main, maybe, or game manager. Let's do game manager. That makes the most sense. All right. So eventually, I want to switch it to something like this. I don't think. Right now, I may actually have a game manager. Let's see if I do. I do. I already have a game manager script, so I probably can just attach that. But for the moment, I'm okay saving this as a game manager scene. This is going to go into... Where would this go? I guess a new folder called base scenes, maybe? So let's try that. I'm trying to do this in a way that I can actually keep up with where things are. Base scenes. That's fine. Okay, and eventually we'll get to this. I don't know if it'll be tonight, but that is eventually the plan, to have it essentially have the world and everything else spawn here on that. So last time we were looking at kind of this vertical versus horizontal layout. And I think what I realized is that if I go and actually look at that horizontal world from the camera angle, or did I even bring it over? I may have not even brought it over. I didn't. Essentially what happens is if I look at that horizontal world, I have something like this as the view. And so it doesn't really give you a lot of room to actually do much with the bricks. So I think that's what is going to make me just stick with this angle that we have right now and have it more like a classic brick breaker pawn or breakout arcanoid types thing instead of having on the left and right for the paddles is like pawn. I'm still not sure on if I want to make the level wider or not, but we'll see. Let's see. Let me double check. I think everything is actually working at this point. I had that UI is gone. Where is it? Oh, you know what I did? I hid that menu. So yep, here we go. I hid that. And then Let's see what it looks like now. Nope, we still got 45 and 25. Okay, that's fine. So we have world. Let's take a look at our brick scene and see if maybe something has happened there. Brick. History node. Primary. So let's save. Okay, now we're back to 20 and 25, which is what we should have. That scene loads up. We've saved everything again. So let's reload our current project. I just want to make sure I'm still not having this issue, because that was really getting annoying. We're still having this issue, and I do not know why. What about if I go to level? I really thought that I had cleared this. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. So what about here? It is not here. What's really interesting is in these actual instances, I don't see the primary. Oh, yeah, I don't see the primary ones checked when they shouldn't be. But it's like on the base scene, I do. So let's try one more thing. I'm not going to worry about it if it's not working after this, but let's try one more thing. So I'm going to quit out of Godot. I'm going to save and quit. Sure. I have a folder open down here, I believe. Yep. So I'm going to go in and pull up our scene file in a text editor, and I'll bring that up, and we will see if maybe I can change that. That would be an objects brick, normal brick, and can I just, yep, there we go. So let's open it in a text editor. So here is the scene file. So I'm working on just some basics. I'm trying to see if I can get some things straightened out. Depending on how far along other things get, I may start refactoring some of the base scene to make it so that it's not going to... what's going on? Group? Very weird. Okay. I don't see it there. So we didn't make any changes, so I can discard. So, sorry, what I was saying is that I'm just working on kind of refactoring some things. I'm going to try to tighten some things up. It just kind of depends on what I can get to cooperate. See, that is really weird to me. I wonder what's going on there. I'll have to figure that out eventually. Maybe I just need to rebuild the brick scene entirely and copy. Let me double check. Primary, secondary. So physics. If brick init color equals primary, add to group primary. If secondary, okay. I wonder... if it's something to do with that. Let's go add to group. Secondary, primary. Oh, that's if I decide to switch brick colors later on. I wonder if this editor hint here is part of our problem. Let's check that. Okay, that's promising. So, reload. Current project. This is the last thing I'm trying on this one if this doesn't work. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's probably gonna be going over things and over things. Ah, that did it. Okay, cool. So, that is really funny. So what was happening was that this brick is the primary brick, and this is the case because I have it set as primary here. This is just the default state of the scene. And so I have an editor script right here to make it so that it's easier to see what color they are, because if I don't have these, they just appear gray. And so it ends up being a lot more difficult to see that. And I think what was happening is that since this scene had the primary group added on it by default, when it was getting pulled into the world scene here with like these, like they all ended up having primary, and then the secondaries had secondary. So that's why I was seeing, like, what was throwing me off when I launched the game here is I have UI in the top left-hand corner, and these were 45 and 25. And I'm like, well, that's impossible because there's only like 45 bricks total. Okay, let me turn down the sound because the sound in comparison to everything else is very loud right now. So let's turn that down to, say, there maybe. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, that's much better. Eventually, I'll have to set it up so that when that launches, I can automatically mute the sound or something for the music coming through the Spotify stuff. But that's an OBS thing for another day. Okay, I'm glad that is finally working. Let's see, debug menu. So let's see if there's anything else we should add here. I think we're good for that for now. Start menu. Oh, options menu. Could be time for that too. Let me go ahead and open that actually, because I think it would be good to at least start putting that together. Options menu. So this is 2D, so we're gonna go with so there's an exit button down there. Let's go and add can we do a radio button? What is it? I don't think I can easily get to the theme editor. Let's see. There we go. So I'm trying to set up a radio button right now. I've seen one, I just don't often. There's not there. Toggle button, checkbox, menu button. Huh. Okay. What about Godot? Radio button. A button group, a group. Let's see. A group of buttons that doesn't allow more than one button to be pressed at the same time. Okay. Base button is derived. Okay, cool. So let's see about that. I may not be able to do that right this second, but we can at least take a look. Okay, we have button, we have check button, which is a checkbox, I believe. Oh, nope. Check button is the primary. I think it's still a checkbox. Let's see. I think this is still a So this is like a checkbox, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it's just a toggle button, and I don't necessarily want that. So let's. Is there another like action mode button group? So we could create a new button group. That could work. It's not disabled. Toggle mode is off. What's toggle mode do? If true, the button is in toggle mode, makes the button flip state between pressed and unpressed each time an area is clicked. Ah, okay. That's probably fine, but that's not what we need. That's okay. So, okay, well, let's just delete that. And for the moment, from our start menu here, let's go ahead and grab the start. Let's go ahead and grab the Arkanoid button that we have, and we will put that in our VBox container. And we'll go ahead, and this is going to be an HBox container for this. Let's move this tile out of the way. So there's a VBox container. We'll have an HBox container, and we'll move the Arkanoid button into a child of that, and we'll also add a label. And so we're gonna say bounce type. For the moment, let's do, actually, yeah, sure. For the moment, let's just do a theme override. Eventually, I need to go in and really just make it so that this is all, let's do 30. Let's do 50, 40, 50. Okay, that's close. All right. And then the exit button should be down below, but not in the HBox. It should be this way. There we go. Okay, and there needs to be a tiny bit of spacing in here. So let's see, that is under the layout, I believe. Container sizing, maybe. It's like, what is it, split? Gap? Oh. There's some, where is it? Or is it in here? Nice, okay. We got the Arkanoid button that we have. Let's see where the actual visibility ordering theme input. Nope, nope. Huh. There's something I am missing. There's like a spacing option somewhere, and I'm just not seeing it at the moment. Let's reset that. What is? Wondering if this mouse is causing us an issue here. Okay. I have no idea what it was doing. That's fine though. Okay, and then we want to have this label want to have the HBox container actually head to the center, and we want to say center. Yep, that's fine. We can actually let it, nope, can't do that. Center, and we're gonna go, since that's that, what we can do though is we can say that the label, of course I've lost YouTube chat again. I really got to figure out a good spot for it. Container sizing. Let's go to expand. And let's go, that's fine for that. And then let's go to this one. And let's go to layout, container sizing, fill, expand. All right, because that's the way that's happening. So we need to change, not theme override, we need to change the container sizing here and go to fill. There we go. That's closer to what I'm looking for. Ideally, I don't want to have it all the way across, but I think I can just do something like, what, spacer? No. I think I can just do control. There we go. And so then if I go to the control and I hit the layout, I'm looking right past it. There it is. Container sizing, and I expand that. There we go. And I think ideally I just want this to be 0.5. So something like that. Okay. I'm just trying to keep, there we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So we got that. Let's go ahead and add our difficulty. I think we can do we want to do another, to make sure to do, actually, I wonder if it makes sense to do a grid instead of an HBox now that I've done all this. Grid, container, grid container. I think that's what I want, unfortunately. So the layout, we're gonna have 3 columns, and we're gonna take all of these and put them here. And then why is it doing that here? It's under layout, container sizing. We're expanding. Don't want it to shrink beginning. There we go. And so grid container, and we're gonna go to layout, container sizing. We should be able to expand that. And then the stretch on our title is only gonna be like 0.25 or something like that. Yeah, I can eventually make it a bit bigger. And so then we have our bounce type. And so then we are going to do a new label, and we're gonna call this difficulty. Oh, actually, you know what? We're not gonna do it that way, because I already have this label done in a way, so we're gonna do that instead. And then we're gonna go with something else. We'll see what's next. But this is gonna be difficulty. And then we're gonna make a new options button, I believe it is. Let's see. Yep, option button. Option button. And then I think we want, maybe we may end up with a different control, but we'll call this difficulty button. And the choices here are going to be easy, medium, hard. I don't know if we need a separator. We should be able to make a default option here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Selected is 1. Allow reselect is sure. Fit the longest item. And we need to do one more thing. Eventually, I really need to set up some. Let's just do that. Okay, let's just do a new theme because it's gonna drive me crazy. So we're going to save this as we're gonna call this main theme. I'm not gonna put much in this right now because I really just want to. So we'll get to that in just a second. Let me add this option so that our text is increased by default, and then I will be glad to dive into that. So let's go ahead and we want to add font. Text, maybe? Nope. I thought I could just add, so let's save that. I thought I could just add like all of the text, but I guess not. So we'll just start with label and do that, and then we'll do option button. And we want to add our font size somewhere here. Line spacing, font, we'll add there it is. So let's put the label size up to like 50 by default. And then let's do options button. Let's save that, and then let's add one and say options button. And let's do this one and 50. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so Arkanoid. So back in the day, there were two games. There was Breakout, and there was Arkanoid. So let's go ahead and start the game. You'll notice here on the main screen, eventually it'll be on the settings screen, but right now, just for playing around, I was putting it here. So if I pick Breakout, and then I go start the game, what I'm gonna get is it's gonna just reflect whatever angle that the ball hits at. I need to actually get it so that there we go. Now we're getting some angle. Of course. So the velocity is a little weird right now, but ignore that. But just focus on the angle. The angle will come off straight off. It'll come off whatever angle it comes in at. That is the angle it's gonna go out at. I don't know why that's happening. I gotta figure that out. But anyway, Arkanoid, on the other hand, is a lot more influenced by where it hits your paddle. So if, for example, I go ahead and I launch the ball, it's gonna bounce off that and come back. Let's try it here. There we go. So it should come straight back. It's gonna go straight out. But if I hit on the left side, it's going to go left. If I hit on the other side, it's going to go right. And I think it just hit on the wrong side and went the wrong way. So I'm going to have to look at that too. Always an exciting time to try to... But you notice how it hit the left side of the paddle right here, and it went this way. That's what Arkanoid style is. I think I want to increase the area in the middle that you can hit to have it go straight back, but I am not sure yet. But that is where Arkanoid is coming in. I personally think that's probably going to be the way that most people want to play the game. I just want to see if see what it feels like both ways. I gotcha. All right, so we got that. I'll have to figure out what's going on with the let's do ball and let's go to where the collision happens. Let's just say fix me when let's double check Arkanoid collision. Fix me confirm breakout collision. Okay. Because let's go down to paddles. So the paddles are really the only place that I know of that the kind of change in how the bounce happens actually occurs. As far as I'm remembering, when I've played, you know, I've tested Arkanoid like remastered or whatever it's called. When it comes to the walls and the bricks and things like that, the bouncing is just normal. Whatever angle you go in is the angle you go out. But the paddle itself is where you actually see that change and you get a lot more control over the ball. So the only thing that really is doing this is right here, if game manager Arkanoid physics, and this is where we're going in and doing this Arkanoid paddle collision, and then we are coming back out. So that's where it is. Otherwise, if it's not Arkanoid physics, it's just doing this, which is, let me double check, but I believe this is exactly what we're doing elsewhere. So like if we're hitting a wall, velocity bounce normal times natural speed up, limit velocity limit. Velocity bounce normal. Oh, we're calling move and collide reflect here. Are we doing that anywhere else? We are. We're calling it up, we're calling it there, and we're calling it here. So yeah, I don't know why it's velocity bounce normal. And then we'll move and yep. This still doesn't feel right to me. I really feel like it shouldn't. I feel like this is our issue, is we're saying velocity bounce normal, and then reflect. But I will have to, because I think it should be I don't know. I feel like there's something else that I'm missing here. Let me go and check my paddle collision here. Here we go. No, that is not what I was thinking. What about the paddle collision code after that? Maybe that'll give me velocity is new direction normalized. Yeah, see, I think this velocity bounce dot normal is actually part of our issue, but I am not sure. And maybe I have to call move and collide first. I'll have to double check. But there's something weird happening in there. I'll have to figure out what. that was much less of a focus as opposed to getting this to work. So I have not tested that nearly as much. Okay. So we've done all that. I think it's probably worth starting to code our power-ups, because that is something that I want to add to the game. And I haven't really done that yet. So let's see, what do we make sense to begin? I guess it's gonna be an area, or is it gonna be a body? I guess it's probably gonna be an area. I don't really know of any reason I should put it on a body. So I guess we'll say area 3D. We're gonna call this power up. And this is just gonna be collectible. This is just gonna be the collectible. Oh, YouTube question, okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So jumping into game dev in general, huh? So I am actually thinking about that a lot right now, because I am thinking about doing like a simple like free book for people to get started making games. And that's something I've been thinking about a lot, because I feel like on the one hand, if you don't really know like what a for loop does, why you'd use a for loop, then I think it's a lot harder to really understand what you're trying to do. You know, you're kind of, because as you go into game dev, you kind of have to start learning how to use this engine. You have to learn the game dev specific side of programming, where you have to deal with delta time and all that crap. But if you don't understand like what a variable means, or you don't understand like what loops you have available, that's where I think it's a lot tougher to really do that. So I'm right now, my gut is telling me that if you don't have any experience programming at all, you're probably better off working through an introductory to Python tutorial or something like that, just to get an idea of like what you even have available to you. Like, you know, if you, let's pull up the script here. So like, if I'm going through and like I'm doing things here and I'm saying like, you know, I'm assigning these variables at the beginning here. Like, if you don't really get what's happening here, it's very hard to then go and actually try to make a game. Because once you actually get to the point where you're making a game, you have to not only do the programming, you have to figure out this vector math stuff. You have to do a lot of vector math and linear algebra and trigonometry, and there's still a lot I have to learn there. But that's just another layer that you have to deal with. So to me, like, if you're not able to understand like what this is actually doing here, or there was one other thing that I saw recently that I thought was very helpful, and I wish I would have thought of it earlier. It was right. Right. Where was it? Goodness. I'm looking right past it, I know. Maybe it was on paddle. That's where it was. Let me pull up the player script and I'll show you one other thing that I was thinking about. Okay. So right here on the player script, notice how I have is primary color equals exclamation mark is primary color. This is a bool, so true false. And so I'm essentially saying whatever this is, set it to the opposite. And like, if you don't really understand programming, like this is just going to be something you look at it and you're like, how is that working? But hopefully that kind of gets to what you're asking. But yeah, I do think it's really worth looking at least some of the programming logic and some of the actual things that go into programming, like variables and all that first. So let's get this saved. We're gonna call this, I guess this would be an object right now, because we are just creating the, let's call this power up collectible. Power collectible. Okay, good. And let's go and do a script. And that's fine. It can be there. Yeah, sure. Okay. So what we're gonna do, let's confirm function. Velocity. Okay, I guess we'll have to actually update the position directly. That's okay. We're also going to add a collision shape, 3D. For the moment, we will just go with a sphere. Now let's go to 3. Okay, cool. How big is this? 0.5. Let's do a radius of 1 for now. And we will see what that looks like later. We want to have it, I want to say it's 0.5 would be the radius. Nope. It's like 0.8, isn't it? Oh wait, no, I'm setting the radius. Duh. Okay, so that way will appear on top of the map. So eventually, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a mesh, but right now I don't have one ready. I can, for the moment, go in and say mesh instance 3D, and we will add maybe a cylinder. No, prism. Let's do a prism, because that's kind of what the idea I had for my thing anyway. So is it 0.5? Yes. Okay, and so collision shape. I don't know if we can we do a different one? There is a, oh, there's a height map. We don't need that. Let's just do a box, because it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna go 1, 1, 1. That's probably fine. We're going to say 0.5, because now we are there. And yeah, that should work. That should work just fine. I do wish that I could do something to make this a bit easier to see. It's very light on my screen. I'm sure it's very difficult to see on stream itself, but I don't know of a way to do that, unfortunately. Okay, and so our area, let's do collision. So let's go ahead and bring up our layer names. So we're going to have, say, layer 9 be power-ups. I don't know that it really matters, but it's okay. So I think we want to have it be on layer 9, and then I think we want to have it trigger on layer 3. So 9 and 3. We don't have to worry about the world because it's just going to good deal. So we don't have to worry about the gravity or anything because we don't have a body anyway that is going to be affected by gravity. So we're good there. Okay, and so then when we're on ready, we want to say we're going to be moving. Where are we? Where is our world? I always forget. So our thing. So we're at 0x. So left and right are x, up and down are z. So we're going to be moving in a negative or positive z direction. So what we're going to do is we're going to say z randi no. We're going to say var. This is going to be z direction. And this is going to be an int. And then we're going to say var move speed. And we'll probably go with an int for this too. And so then we want to say z direction equals. I want to essentially have it pick between 1 and -1. Let's see. Ghetto pick. Really? Okay. I could go and create an array, but Randy range, or wait, is it just Randy? What is, remind me, what is RANDI? Returns a random unsigned 32-bit integer, use the remainder to obtain the number 0 at n-1. Okay. Right. So yeah, that won't work. Returns either 0 or 1. -10 and okay. So I think what we want to do, can I, is there like a random sign maybe? Let me pull up this. So random sign. Random noise and random number generator, getting a random number. We'll double check this, but I don't think this is what I'm gonna need. Randomize. We'll eventually want to add that to our ready script here, but getting random number, this is what it was talking about. And then we can do random range. Okay. Wait, what is just range? Weighted random probability. Okay, that's fine. Shuffle bags. Oh, okay. I think I know what that's doing. Okay, that's fine. So what is range? Is range just... 1 in 100 for each random million. Okay. Okay. So this is kind of dumb, but I guess what we can do is we can say equals 1 if randy range 0, 1 greater than or greater than or equal to 0.5. Else -1. Okay, cool. So that'll work. So then we want to say position dot z plus so we're gonna say position dot z. Actually, do we want to do that here? We want to do that in the physics process probably. Or do we want to? We're not using physics, so no, we want to do that in the process function, I believe. So we're going to say process z plus equals, and we're going to say move speed times delta. And for move speed, let's just start with like 20. I have no idea how fast that's going to be. Sure, we're going to save that. Oh, I didn't mean to close it, but that's okay. I saved it anyway. So power up. Okay, cool. So, oh, and then the whole reason we did that was we can also then do in Z direction. So what this will do is when it starts, it will then start moving in either the up or the down direction, depending on whatever decision the system makes right here. And so if the number that is generated here is above 0.5, it will be moving in the positive direction, which, if I recall right, is this way. And then if it does not, it'll be moving toward the screen, rather, toward this way. If it's negative, then it'll be going that way. And so what I need to also check for the wall. Wall is 1, so I do need to check for layer 1. So what I'm going to have it do is once it collides with the wall or the player, I'm going to have it destroy itself and give me a message. And we will see what happens. And then after that, eventually, I will be adding in something to give it, let's see, I guess it would be body entered. Is it coming up somewhere else? There we go. On body entered. Actually, let's disconnect, because I want to do it a different way. It doesn't matter. We'll do it this way. We already have it. So let's see. If body dot is in group, we're going to say paddle. Is it paddles or paddle? I don't like, this is one reason I don't like group. Let's see. Oh, I didn't actually open the player scene, so that would help. Player. I believe it is paddles. Yes, paddles. I thought I made all of them basically. All right, we should get, so print paddle hit, and then if body dot is in group, and we're going to say walls actually. We may not be able to. We'll see. Because I think right now the top wall is not actually in a group. It is not. So I don't know that we can actually do it that way. But that's okay. So let's see. We'll say that for the if body dot is is there like a collision layer or something? Let's just do this. Else print hit wall. Okay. So now that I've went to all this trouble to make this happen, I am going to set this as a default right now to -1. And I am going to comment that out. And just so that I always get the same direction, I want to do that. And then after all of this, I want to queue free. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to come over to our brick, normal brick, and we want to look where the brick is being destroyed. And essentially, we want to give this a 50-50 chance right now of whether it should go and emit or release, rather, a... Oh, you know what? I didn't even start the bot. And of course, I don't even have it there. What is it? That's the right command, but I didn't start the bot, so let me turn on the bot. I gotta remember to do that next time. Apps. I need to, maybe I can see about like some sort of hook in OBS that actually does that. But I do not have it. Let's see, Firebot. There it is. And then there we go. Cool. And of course, it does not want to connect. I don't know why. There we go. Okay, now it is on. I think it's Steam or Wishlist should work. Yep, there you go. Okay. So, what I was saying is we want to say var spawn power up. And we're gonna see Randy range. And Randy range is random integer range. We're gonna say 0 to 1. And for the moment, we're just going to say if you don't need a colon there or not, if spawn power up greater than or equal to 0.5, which is 50%, then we want to spawn power up, which we will do in a new function spawn power up. Let's, instead of spawn power up, we're going to call this spawn power up. Oops, not that. Let's do this. So there we're going to say D, and we're going to say chance. So spawn power up. We're going to return void because we don't need to tell anything here. And then we're going to, okay, here we go. We're going to say, we need to add a scene here. Power up. Block break. And broken break. Okay, cool. We are doing that. So power up collectible, that's fine. We'll call that. So we'll call spawn power up here. And then we'll say var a new power up equals dot instantiate. If I could stop tapping the wrong button, that would be amazing. Oh, whoops, that's not what I want to do. Okay, and then position. Oh, nope. It's a new. So we're going to add the child to the root. So get tree, get root, dot root, dot add child. I think it's get root. I just saw that somewhere and I'm like, well, let's see what it does. Can I actually use that? Oh, I can. Root, get root. Okay, cool. I did not know that. I saw that and I'm like, that's interesting that I can do that. Okay, so we did that and we added the child. We're adding the child to the root. Eventually, I probably want to create a power-up container or something like that, but for the moment, that is fine. And then we will say new power-up dot position equals, and we're going to say position because that is the brick's current position. So what this should do is, if this is right, this should, let's see, power up object, blah, 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 blah. Expected indent and block after function declaration. Okay. Double check. I think everything's good here. Yep. Okay. So I think what this should do is, once we destroy a brick, there should be a 50% chance to get a power up to spawn and start moving. There it is. It's very small, but it was there. And let's see if it actually. I don't see that it actually collided though. Interesting. So first things first. Let's go to our 3D. Let's get our collision shape. And let's increase the scale. Actually, no, let's not increase the scale. Instead, let's just scale it by 6. And then we will scale the mesh itself by 6. And let's see what happens now. Let's see how that's looking, if that's how close, how terrible that is. Okay. Oh, paddle hit. I see that. So I need to figure out why it hit the brick. So let's see what the brick is on. But otherwise, that actually worked. Here it is. So we're on layer 6, and we are catching layer 1 and layer 6. And power up. Yeah, we got paddle hit. That is good. Yeah, very small. I don't think we want it to be this big, but probably halfway in the middle is where I'm gonna end up keeping it. Yeah, see, it just went away, hit wall. Oh, is it hitting the floor? I wonder if it's hitting the floor. So maybe what I do, because this is now 6 tall. So let's change this to 3. That's about half the size, maybe. I think it's just too tall, and I think that's. Oh, I see why. So we increased the size, but I did not actually increase the height. So 1.5. And then I believe it would be 1.5 here. So let's try that. There we go. Something's spawning, but it's not going anywhere. I wonder if it's because I am putting it at the location of the brick. And so maybe I just need to say that the paddle position position dot y equals let's say like 0.2, I don't know, something like that. And then over here on the ball, or not the ball, the brick where we're spawning this thing, instead of doing the position dot position, let's do position dot x equals position dot x, and then do power up position dot y equals position dot y. No, not y, z. Because y is our vertical axis. Let's see if that works. Nope, we still get hit wall. What's happening there? Only do the Q3 if we hit the paddle, or if we hit, yeah, that's fine. We can say that. And then we're gonna say if body dot is in group, we're gonna say bricks, and say print brick hit. Okay, we shouldn't be getting this if I've set this thing up right, because we shouldn't be able to hit bricks. Up, there's one. Okay. What we got? So there's paddle hit. We got a hit wall. So I think it's hitting the floor. Let's do this. So let's print wall hit position. I just want to see like what Y we're at when we're hitting the wall, supposedly. Okay, those two went exactly like we'd expect. That one went off of the map, and I think we hit the wall. We did. Sweet. Paddle hit, paddle hit. I should probably turn on my test mode here. Can I just do that? I cannot, but I should turn that on. So let me double check. So I added a debug menu, and I have a test mode over here, over on world. I have it so I can have this back wall enabled, but let's see what I'm actually doing if it's not. Okay, yeah, we have it hidden. So instead of that, because we're doing that in ready. So let's take this And whoop, function back wall enable. So I'm just adding a little dev code here. So it's backwall.show and change this to true. Let's do it this way. It's fine for now. I'll do it this way for now. Eventually, I want to add more logic into this just to make it a bit easier. But let's go and tell it what we need to do here. So we need to add to the debug menu. And I guess it would be a checkbox of some kind. Button, check button, back wall, and let's move this up. We're gonna move this up to here, sure. Oh, did I not actually use this? No, I did not. I did not end up needing that, so let's delete that. Game speed box, sure, okay. So we're gonna call this back wall button. Okay, reset requested. That's fine. And then we're gonna say game speed changed dot emit. That's fine. Okay, exactly what we want. Good deal. Okay, so on the back button, we want to have, I think, let's just do pressed for now. Actually, no, let's just do this for now. We can always change this later. Debug menu, sure. On back button toggled. There it is. So we're going to add a new signal. And signal, restart requested. Signal, turn on that, or toggle back wall. And we're gonna say toggle back wall dot emit, and then toggled on. There we go. And so then in our world scene, we will come up here where we're adding our signals right here. Say debug menu dot back wall. Did I not save? It's toggle back wall. Duh. I do that all the time. I name something and then I forget what I named it. Connect, and we're gonna call this. I think it's just toggle back wall, right? Back wall enable. So let's change this to actually just toggle back wall. Right now it's not going to toggle, but that's okay. Eventually it will. Toggle back wall. And I don't need that. Just need the close. Okay, cool. So right now I believe it is off. So we'll save that. So now, so it's because C3D, you have to assume the position is correct, so it acts accordingly. Is it similar to issues in 2D, or is it because 3D you have more different things to anticipate? So it's not about 3D or 2D necessarily here. It is somewhat about 3D because I have to deal with the floor, but I have to I have to actually tell it where to spawn. Sorry, I had missed that, but I have to tell it where to spawn because otherwise, I mean, it's just going to try to spawn at 0, 0, which is up here in the top left-hand corner, I believe. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm telling it to spawn at the X and Y position, or X and Z position of the brick, and then to spawn at an appropriate height on the Y-axis. And so I think what was happening before is that the object was spawning, and then it was hitting the floor because it was halfway into the floor because of the way our object was set up. When I made it bigger, it was no longer over the floor. And so I think it's possible that it was actually doing that and just fine and something else was going on. But I think what was happening, it was just too low. I think in the future, I'm debating if I even need a collision on the floor or if I need a new collision layer for the floor, because other things could cause this same issue. And I mean, I don't really care if the thing collides with the floor as long as it's high enough above the floor to connect with the wall or connect with the paddle. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about. So notice right now, I don't have a back wall back here. So if I hit this now and I toggle the back wall on, it does not show up what happened. Let's see. Error calling signal. Method expected. 0 arguments, but called with 1. Okay, okay. Oh, well that's fine. Let's do toggle back wall. We're gonna call this toggle bool and toggle equals toggle. Just to call it in there. Let's restart that. So now, if I hit my button and I turn on the back wall, I now have a back wall back here, and you can kind of see it. It's still gonna stay there now because I didn't do anything to turn it back off. Okay, so that's good. Danger is in the details. It always is, and that's why I was saying earlier, like I really feel like if you don't know as much about programming, it's really difficult to kind of try to get into the programming aspect and then come in and also understand those little tiny details about, you know, the other aspect. So yeah, it's a tough one for sure. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna go back to can I do it another way? Show, I believe, just doesn't return anything. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can, what I can do is I can say toggle here. So what this means is that if this value is true, like if I'm turning it on, then this collision layer will also be turned on for the back wall. And then if I'm turning it off, then it will be off. And I won't have to worry about another thing for that. I think I will have to do it on show here because I don't know of a way to hide if it's false. Because I'm not setting a variable, I'm just setting a property. Okay, so if toggle back wall show, else back wall hide. All right, so now when I go in, I should be able to go in and say, hit the button, and if I toggle it, you notice the back wall comes in here. If I toggle it off, the back wall goes away. Awesome. Good deal. That'll be useful. We don't want to move that. I just want to get rid of this extra space. There we go. cool. All right, so our power up is now spawning. I want to also print the position. Print start position. And then we're gonna say colon position. Let's do this. Debug. Print debug. Let's do it that way. I don't want to. So if I don't do these print debugs, then I might be a little more lost as to what these are being printed from. In this case, it's fine, but I'm sure that I'm going to be tracking down print statements for a while to get all of them out of my code. But let's do that. I want to start using print debug more. Let's see. Okay, so we did that. What else? Yeah, so let's do that, and then let's go back to our brick, and let's see what is actually happening here. When I set it to... Let's do this. Is right here. So instead of Z, we're just gonna say back to this, and we're gonna say, comment these two out for a moment. I just want to see what position we're even starting at. Okay, that's a good sign. We're there. Oh, there we go. There's so many of them. Okay, and if this is all coded right now, we should automatically flip over to our other color once one of them is done. So I'm gonna keep playing for a moment. Let's go on and turn on our back wall just to make it easier. There's one thing with the ball right now. It's not quite the way I want it for the animations. You can kind of see it scaling and whatnot. Ah, I just missed it. You can see it kind of scaling and whatnot and bouncing, but I want to try to smooth that out a bit. Right now it feels a little janky. So I want to try to, yep, it flipped it over automatically. That is awesome. And then we should end up switching to our next level. Once we get to the end, we're probably gonna have a short countdown because I think it. Oh wow, I haven't seen that happen. I wonder if it's just too fast. Okay. Unfortunate. I'll have to figure out what's happening there. Did I get too fast? Is there anywhere we're calling velocity on the ball that we're not limiting the length? I've been meaning to do this more, but I keep forgetting. Let's do that. Okay. So we go down through. We say... move and collide. Okay, here we go. Maybe this is what our issue is right here. Ball speed is velocity times speed times delta. Velocity equals velocity dot limit length max what do I call it? Velocity limit. Velocity limit. Okay. So there is that. And then we're going down, we're going down. We are getting the velocity. We are limiting the length right there. I wonder if it's this reflect call. Limit length, limit length. Okay. Okay. So that's fine. Let's try this. Let's do one more thing while I'm thinking about it. We're gonna have, yep, remainder times push forward. Yep, okay, cool. We're already doing that. So what I'm trying to do right here, I'm trying to, certain bricks are marked as bricks that can move. And so I'm trying to actually change how far they are moved based on the velocity. I don't think that this is gonna work. I think what I'm gonna have to do is say something like, where is it? It's down here. It's where I'm scaling the ball. Date to global, set collision, blah, blah, blah. Ah, here we go. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is something like this, where I'm essentially saying, right here I'm saying mess base scale times mess new scale, and the limit, the velocity length divided by velocity limit. I think I'm gonna have to do something like that to actually get that. So I'm gonna go in and change that while I'm thinking about it here. It would be right here. Okay. So what this should do is this should change the amount of impact that I'm getting based on how much power the ball, or how close to the maximum velocity the ball is. So right now I have a push force of 75. I'm gonna update that to like 125, and we'll see if the ball gets just bounced off of the stage. But let's go ahead and turn on our back wall. Oh, what happened? Cannot convert argument 1 from float to vector 3. I mean, but it's not a... Do I do this? Let's say float. Let's try that. Nope, it's not happy with that. Let me think what this is doing. Okay, this scale, and we're doing a lerp, so it's from, to, and wait. And oh, I see. Weight is a variant, but velocity.length should be a float. It is. So what happened? Am I not supposed to be using a float? Apply impulse. Let's see, invalid type in function call apply impulse in base rigid. What? Okay, from float to vector 3. So apply impulse. Ah, I see. Interesting. So what? Apply. Impulse. Rigid body 3D. Apply. Danger details. For real. Okay, apply impulse. So we're getting a vector 3, which is an impulse. A vector 3 position vector equals vector 3. Okay. Applies a position impulse to the body. An impulse is time dependent. Applying an impulse to every frame would result in a frame rate blah 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 blah. Position is the offset from the body origin to global coordinates. Huh. I feel like that's something. That's something. So how was it working before then? Oh, because I was applying. Okay, I gotcha. Remainder times push force. And so let's go ahead and I'll just up this to 100. I'll have to think about that. Okay. So then, position. But I wonder if it should be. What is position? Let's read that one more time here. Because I think there's something that's sticking in my head about that. So position equals vector 3, 0, 0, 0. So position is the offset from the body origin in global coordinates. So I don't think that I actually want that. I don't think I need that. I think that's actually what I want. But I don't know that I can actually call it that way. Oh, I can. Kind of works. Let's do our. Oh. Let's try to key free after our power collectible hits the wall, just so that we're not flying off into nothingness. We're not going to do that. We're not hitting the bricks, so print. So queue free. Whoop. Definitely not Quaternion. That's no fun. Queue free. Let's see if that works any better here. Okay. Here's that. So other things that I've done here is I can actually start turning the speed of the game down. So it gets much slower. If I needed to go faster, I can increase the speed up to like 500 times. But let's change it back to 100. Yep, and there it reset. And then I gotta call. I need to call the animation, because right now there's nothing to stop it from just starting, even though they're not accessible. See, this is what I don't like about that code. I gotta figure that out. Because I have code in here so that when it bounces back and forth like that to kind of push it toward the back. But that is not working ideally, unfortunately. Come on. And we should be back to... Oh, nope, something happened. Our count is wrong. So what is going on? So escape. And we're gonna go back to this menu. We're gonna open up our remote and let's see how many bricks we have. Brick container, 4, 5, 6. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And let's look at the groups here. Where are your groups? When we do this, I need to figure that out, but that's okay. Where are you? Groups. Brick color is secondary. Oh, is it here? No, it's not. Can I see group? Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what's... I don't know if they got bounced out or what. Oh, I see what happened. Interesting. Let's go. I'll have to go double check that level. Because now I'm down to 2 and 2, and that don't make any sense. We're down to 1 and 1, which is really... Okay. And we should either restart or... Okay, we didn't restart. I'll have to figure out what's going on there. So let's take a look at that level. What happened here? Load next level. Cannot open file. Okay, we got our start menu got moved. So that's our issue. So let's start. And then failed loading resource. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, same thing. Okay, so the code executed, which is good. I had moved things around when I rebuilt this project, so that is probably why. Now, let's take a look at the level itself. I think it's level 1 that we are interested in, 3D. So we got these. So we are gonna go. So that is primary, secondary. Oh, okay. I think what we want to do is we want to just... I think we just want to uncheck all of these. Because none of these should be checked by default. These are all determined at runtime. Secondary. I think I skipped one. Right here. Yeah. That one. I don't know why I can't turn these all off at the same time, but that's okay. Okay, all quiet over there. Did I uncheck that one? I did. Awesome. Cool. There we go. That one. I don't think I have anything on this level that's gonna reset these, but Ah. What happened? Huh. This is why our numbers were messed up. I wonder if I duplicated some that already had the secondary, and then the tool script that I had set up made it primary as well. That's still... Oh. I think I understand why that happened that way. I'll have to think about how to deal with that in the future. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. So that's that. Just double checking. All right, cool. There we go. Okay, cool. That is all set. So, guess what I will do? Let's run this scene really quick. I just want to see if I can tell. Yeah, it keeps doing that. But it still keeps giving me distance x 0. Absolute x. What is going on? Distance x is 0, and distance x is float. Absolute input x. Oh, I think I see. No? See why that number is different, but I don't understand. All right, there we go. So we have, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, why am I doing this? And what is... There we go. I have no idea what... Oop, it's not that one, it is this one. Okay, so... This should... Okay. So this should give me a better idea of what's happening here. Yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. So... We are not getting... Where is our distance x? Wait, are we actually getting it now? I don't see it. Distance x. So absolute value input dot x brick position x greater than or equal to. So we should be seeing one of those. So I don't know why. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to set it up so that I can more easily build levels. And I'm just trying to get it to give me some basic information so I can better understand, because right now I'm just getting the Z. Why am I just getting Z? Up there's an X. So plus, nope, we're not getting that at all. We are not getting this at all. So why are we not? So we're saying distance x. But why are we still getting z? So z is... what in the world? Okay, let's just focus on the x for a moment. So if absolute value of input.x minus brick position.x is greater than or equal to brick size snap.x, or the other way around, and then we're going to print that, and then we're going to say else x less than snapped. So we should get something. So I'm going to put one, like just to make it very obvious, one here, one there. We are getting an absolute value. Okay, that is good. So what happens if I do this and then I do that? See, but I'm not getting that less than... Okay. This one is such a tough one. I'm gonna really have to think about like how to do this. I feel like this should not really be this hard, but every time I turn around to try to come up with a different way of attacking this, I keep not finding the right answer here. I do not believe I'm going to need that at all. Okay, let's see. We are adding our snapped brick. Snapped int dot snapped brick size else snapped int dot snapped brick size plus offset. Okay, that is good. That all sounds fine. We are doing the offset. That's fine. So then we are adding to our array. We're checking our array with snapped brick, and then we are adding it to that, and then we are creating the brick. And that should do the trick, but I don't know why I'm never getting this answer, because there are clearly times where I'm not getting an x value, like right here. I don't get the x value, but I also don't get the else. Okay, that's fine. Copy this. Print. Abs 1. And then we'll go this way. And we'll do this. And then that. Oh. And then we'll go to this one. And we will say print abs 2. And let's see if this is giving us any further information. Because what I expect it to be is I expect it to be 0. is what I realistically expect it to be. 5. Okay. I can see it potentially both being 5, so let's do this. And then this. We're still getting 5. Why are we still getting 5? First up. And then secondly, let's do this. Say print. Compare value. And we're gonna say brick size snap.x. Okay. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to say 1.8, 6, 6, there we go. Okay, compare, we're still getting 5.9 and then, okay. And we're still getting 5. Why are we getting 5 both ways? When you think about this. I'm just trying to, so right now I'm trying to see if I can get this, I'm trying to work on a level builder to make it easier for me to build levels, potentially even to have a level creator in the game. But it's something where I have to get it, I can't just use the normal ability to snap things in place, because if I do, I have to keep them all in a straight line. Like, I would only be able to do them like this. I would never be able to put anything in the middle. And so what I've done is I've tried to do some math to allow an offset. And so now I can go and do something like that. The problem is it gets really confused and tries to start overlapping stuff. And so here's where I'm getting 0 and 0, and that's where, again, I don't understand why I'm not... There's something I am totally missing here on my if. And I don't, again, why am I getting 0 and 0? Why am I getting this both? So we're inputting x. So let's do this. Print input x, input.x. I wonder if my input's all messed up. I wonder if it's really not happy about that. I don't think so, because otherwise I feel like I would have more issues. And the other one is brick position.x. And brick position x. Okay. So the first one, we don't get any comparison because there is nothing else in the array yet. The second one, we're getting brick position -12, -22. -12, -22. Oh, wait. Are we only ever comparing with the first one? Let's do this. Print brick array print size brick position array dot size Let's try that. Why? What in the world? Why is it ignoring this stuff? Oh, there it is. There's one. All right, so let's try this again. So we're doing one. We should have 3 now. Size 2. Size 1. Okay, size 0, size 1, size 2. Yeah, that is correct. That should be. And so then we get 1, 2, and they're. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder what's going on there. Let's go to the remote. Nah, it's just something very simple that I am missing. Position is -17. Z is 10. Yeah, that's fine. Scale is 1. And brick size is 1.8, 6, and 6. Which sounds right. But where am I? Am I setting that? I guess I'm setting that. Member brick size. Am I doing that somewhere here? Brick size? I am. Okay. Sweet. So I am doing the right size there. That is good to know. I am very curious about what is going on here. I'm gonna have to keep thinking about this one. Anyway, let's move on back to our player. Let's see what's going on here. So I think eventually I want to redo this. I want to change this to be more textured, and probably get it some kind of texture like in the middle, where it ultimately is something where there is still able to hit kind of in the center, just to give people a bit more of that. And I think I also want to make this more shaped like a capsule, because that will give it a bit smoother. I think that's going to give it a smoother experience when you bounce on the side. Because right now I feel like with the way the side is kind of flat like this, you end up kind of bouncing in a way that can potentially just kind of get you in this weird little way where you can't really bounce out as easily. So I think a capsule may be the future option here. But I want to do some kind of inset, and I want to try to keep it kind of in the middle, I think, and do it that way so that people can better identify, or maybe just color the middle, where people can better identify what direction it would be hitting it. But I have to figure out the best way to do that. So we'll see. Okay. So I'm kind of thinking this is kind of our base shape for our power-ups. I'm trying to think of what else really makes sense, since we already kind of have a, square for the, we have squares for the bricks, we have a circle for the balls, we have the 2 paddles that are more rectangular. So I kind of think the triangle or prism shape is the way to go, but I think it's partially going to depend on what the actual power-up is. But I know some games end up doing kind of a pill, depending on which, and just color it differently. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But okay. The one thing that, so this, if you don't know, this is a bunch of different pieces. So it's trying to fall apart, but it's unfortunately just not blowing apart like I want it to. And I don't know. Oh, and that's because right now there's no actual rigid bodies on it. So it may not matter even if after I add the rigid bodies back. I'd like to be able to kind of have the brick break apart. But even before I moved everything over and I had the rigid bodies, I still didn't have it really blowing apart like I want. But ideally, I'd like this to shatter when the brick ends up getting destroyed. So eventually, and also, I don't think we need that anymore, but that's fine. Eventually, I'll see if I can do this. But yeah, I am happy for power-ups too. I'm glad I'm finally getting it in there. Right now, we just have the collectible. I'm trying to decide the best way to actually do it. I think what I'll do is I will have a base. Let's go in and do that now before I forget. So let's go to level, and I think what I'm gonna do, I have another folder. I guess it's called objects, sure. Let's go new folder. So create new folder, power-ups. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have one power-up, a base power-up, create new. We're gonna call this a script. And this is going to extend a resource. GD script, that's fine. Object empty, that is fine. And then I think we're gonna have one resource that is like, actually, we may need a scene for this. And of course, I don't have my water. I'll be right back. Actually, no, it's been a bit over 2 hours. So I think I'm gonna call it here. My voice is dying and I need to make sure I bring water next time. But ultimately, I think that's what we'll do next time. And we'll start working on these resources so that we can have our power-ups happen. But my kind of overall thought process is to create a base resource. One of them is going to be for time. And the other one is going to be for like an amount, like the amount of actions taken or something like that. I'm not sure how much the latter one will be used, but I think that's our starting point. Eventually, we'll have some sort of array, probably in the game manager, that will end up containing the number of power-ups active, and that will let us be able to stop spawning power-ups if there are more than like 3 or 4 active at a time. I'm not sure if I want to stop them or if I want to keep spawning them and end up removing the oldest one or one of the same type. I'm just trying to think how to best balance that. So I need to start writing some of these questions down. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. We did a little over 2 hours. This is getting easier to do on stream and try to think through, so I am glad for that. And thank you all for joining. And yeah, sounds good. Thank you. And have a great night, everybody.